Okay, after playing with the editing, trying to figure out some of it's not really editing, but putting all the little segments together, I started running out of time, so I just went ahead and started working on this. You can see what I've got here. What I did was I put the block inside of it. Once the block of wood was down inside of it, I just used these little tacks to kind of hold it in place. And what I'm doing is I'm coming around this. Well, I'm at a stopping point because I didn't know the camera was going to be ready to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm piercing into here, and then I'll come back up into that leather, just like I did there. And then once I've got that in there, it's basically 45 in this, in a sense. It's like what you would do if you were working with wood or something besides leather. Make sure I don't cross that under. And what that's doing is just pulling that over to it. Then I'm going to come back right through here, run it back in to the same hole, and then I'll come back to this side. I'm hoping this is mostly catching, but I'm going back into this and through. And what that's doing is it's basically sewing all this together. And it looks to, of course, like I said, you know, when I first started this was a never have before done anything quite like this. But now that I've got that, then I'm just going to kind of pierce that thing all the way back around, and we'll eventually have this thing sewn completely up, and you'll see the finished product. So we'll get back to it in just a second. Okay. Basically all I'm doing is putting the leather up there. I think that it would be able to be done without putting all the other tacks in there, but I'm not going to take that chance because it does help hold it down. So basically, just find your hole, push the tack up, tap it in just very little. You don't have to, you're not trying to beat it in. Just basically enough to do what a tack's supposed to do, and that's hold it down. Now, that's pretty much all there is. There's the stitching. See how it's kind of 45s it in, so it kind of gives it a nice little hold. So now it's time to get to sewing. So I'm just going to take this, and it just goes right through till I find the hole. It's already pre-made on the other side, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just kind of making a little more tedious than it looks, but you kind of want to make sure you're in the right one. You also want to make sure you aren't making too many bigger ones. And I don't go all the way down it with one pass. I just make a few holes. Back up here, buddy, to get me started. And I've kind of already went ahead and done the thread. So again, You've seen I've started them before. I grab the two and just give them an evening up. I'll come right back through that one, and I come out this one down here on the other side. Now that gives me my initial start. That means if that one was there, this will go in to the other side through that same hole that I exited out of. And that's when I give it my little cinch. And I come back. Down. And that's the process. So we'll get back to you when this thing is complete. I won't drag you through the whole ordeal. See how sometimes they didn't, or it almost like it heals up before we get started. But I guess it is skin, so I guess it just is natural. A little cinch down, and there it is. So we'll get back to you in a second. Well, there it is. It's pretty much exactly what it's supposed to be. A pouch with a little design on it. Plan on putting pretty much this little kit that I got here. I kind of put it all together and get it all out. It's pretty much it'll have that in it, a couple of pieces of flint, a flint striker, and some charred cloth. And it's pretty much all I want to keep in that, other than, you know, maybe some things that would make it a little easier, but excuse me, that's pretty much all that I've got that thing for. Naturally I'll put it in a tin, or I've got some Altoids tins that I'll put the things that don't need to be able to get wet inside of it. But I am going to burnish the edges a little bit just to kind of smooth them up. Let me get my cloth that I had. Well, actually I'm going to do it a different way. I've been thinking about doing this here for a while to see how well it does. So just barely putting a little bit of water on the sponge, and then I'll just kind of wet the top of it. I'm gonna put it on my drill press over here and kick it on and cheat quite a bit. Not sure if you can see it or not. That's the edge that it puts on it. Nice, smooth. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and this is pretty much the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. Maybe one day I can make something a little bit better. It might be more interesting. But I appreciate all the views and all the comments. Thanks for watching.